Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to do a little bit of C5 shopping in the southern central part of the United States. You guessed it, the Lone Star State.
Don't mess with Texas.
We're going to focus on the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But one thing I want to point out, anytime you're looking at cars from Texas, you're going to want to make sure you know where they were during an event called Hurricane Harvey. 4 years ago plus, 40 inches of rain in many areas in Texas that flooded a lot of cars.
It's estimated that up to 1 million vehicles were damaged by Harvey.
Toys for life.
Many end up here or at a handful of makeshift scrapyards designed for a similar purpose. Aerial photos of the Texas World Speedway, about 70 miles north of Houston.
A lot of them were scrapped. A lot of them were sold as flooded, but there's some out there that had some damage that was cleaned up. You want to be able to look for the telltale signs of flooding, but it's definitely one thing to keep in mind. And again, this is the Houston area. It affects a large area. Just keep that in mind if you're looking at a car from Texas. So I'm going to go to probably my favorite website for looking for cars, Craigslist. I'll just go to US states, and then I'm going to go to Texas, and then Dallas-Fort Worth. We'll just go ahead and search Corvette. Put in the years, bundle duplicates so you get rid of all the multi-post, search by titles. Then I like to go from low to high. So the lowest price one, and I haven't seen one this low in quite a while, just under 10 grand, Corvette Warehouse. I see a lot of listings for them. If you've done business with these guys or know anything about them, let us know in the comments below what your experience has been. This one, first thing I'm going to notice is obviously 172,000 miles. That's one reason it's really cheap. Looking at the pictures, you've got the least desirable wagon wheels. The paint looks a little sun-cooked. That may or may not be just the photos. Kind of make it look like it's not in the best shape. So I don't know if it's the photos or if it really is kind of sun-cooked. So here's the lowest price one you're going to find. If that's your budget, might be worth taking a look. But again, 172,000 miles. Let's take a peek at this one here. I would just say that my first instincts are 133,000 miles. Price is pretty low. But one thing, unless you really like this color combo, this is probably not going to be one that sells easy. A lot of people aren't going to like the green with the black. Just saying it like it is. Automatic transmission, 133,000 miles. Convertible. And these headlights, most people aren't a fan of them. So I'd probably steer clear from this one. I'm a big fan of staging your photo when you have a car for sale. You can't tell for sure, but I mean, it looks like this guy obviously lives in a pretty nice area, which it certainly adds to the appeal of a car if it's photographed in front of some nice houses. This looks to be a pretty nice shaped convertible. It's got some decent aftermarket wheels on here. The body looks to be in good shape. Interior, seat's not all tore up. I mean, it's the C5 seat, but a lot of times you'll see a big hole right here. Automatic and 112,000 miles. So if you're looking for a convertible in Texas, this silver one might be worth your time to check out. AutoNation is kind of an interesting company to me. It's not like you're really small independent that may or may not care about their reputation, and it's not a new car dealer, which absolutely cares about their reputation. I think they probably generally have pretty good cars, but they're certainly going to get them from auction, I would imagine. If anybody knows for sure, let us know in the comments below. From what I can tell, they've got decent cars for the most part. This one's interesting. As you can see, he's got it in Las Vegas. Maybe his appeal is a lot of people like to go to Vegas anyway, so you fly into Vegas, you look at a car, you spend a day or two, and then you drive it home. I don't know that I would try this if I had my car for sale in Minnesota. Putting it in the Texas market might not draw a lot of people. You never know. Anyway, this looks to be a pretty decent shape C5. I like how they include every angle so you can see what you're getting. Interior looks to be in good shape. Clean title, automatic transmission, 100,000 miles. A little bit on the expensive side, but remember the price you see it's always negotiable, but you certainly don't want to tell them you just flew out from wherever to Vegas to look at the car. Here's one from Car Dog Auto Sales. I've never heard of them. Let's Google them. 70 reviews, 4.6 stars. This doesn't mean they're a great dealer, but if it was like 2 stars with 70 reviews, I would stay away for sure. So this means, you know, they may be a decent dealership. They've got this decent looking 99 removable hardtop. One thing to remember about these smaller independent dealers is they typically get their cars from auction. And keep in mind, not every car at an auction is a bad car, but every bad car does go to auction because all the dealers, they usually keep the gems for themselves and sell off stuff that is something they don't want on their lot. Just keep that in mind. Doesn't mean you can't get a good deal here. Anyway, clean title, automatic transmission, not bad for miles, 74,000. And looks to be a pretty nice, I think that's spiral metallic, C5. If you're in the area, it might not be a bad car to check out. All right, the other place I like to look for used Corvettes at is cars.com. Got a really good way you can filter this thing 6 ways from Sundays. So I've gone to the Dallas area and I did a 200-mile radius. I did 97 to 2004 and just 4,000 to weed out the $500 down type numbers that people put in, and 40 grand just to see if anybody's actually asking that much. A couple things caught my eye here. First off, the floor seems to be around 16 grand. That's interesting. I also noticed there's another one from Corvette Warehouse, which I see a lot of their Corvettes anytime I search in the southern United States. But this one here is a 2002. It seems pretty interesting. Low miles, 43,000 for a car this old in my mind is about perfect. It shows they used it but didn't use it up. And this seems to be a pretty clean example. I'm a little concerned as to why the headlights are up. Usually they have them down, so you want to make sure the headlights actually function. But it looks like a nice clean car. And the interior, again, the seat bolsters tend to be kind of tore up here if they're tore up. Interior tells you a lot about how someone took care of a car. If it's trashed, they probably didn't change the oil. They probably beat on it, that sort of thing. If it's immaculate and clean, they probably took care of the rest of the car too. So this one seems like 21's probably a little high, but if you're looking for a really nice, one of the better year C5s, which in my mind are the 2002, 3, and 4, this one might not be a bad choice. Guys, the last place we're going to look is kind of my least favorite, Facebook Marketplace, but you can occasionally find a deal or two. I don't really like it because it's cumbersome to really filter down on what I'm looking for. So sometimes you just got to put something in like C5 Corvette, the distance, search radius from where you are, and then just be willing to hunt around a little bit. Sometimes it's worth a little bit of a laugh. I want to buy a Corvette from this guy. No offense. Sometimes you got weird stuff like this. 5,000 bucks. And then down here it says 50,000 is the price because it's got 1,600 miles on it. So you're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff. But if someone's kind of lazy and they just toss their car on Facebook because they don't want to go through the trouble of Craigslist or cars.com or whatever, you might be able to find a gem. You never know. So guys, that's going to do it for this one. If you liked the video, please hit that share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you've got a part of the country you'd like me to zero in on, I'd like to do that. It's fun to put these together. Maybe I'll do them every 4 to 6 weeks. Have a good one, guys.